This episode of I Am the Trend TV is brought to you by Threadbird Printing, high quality screen printing at affordable prices.
What is up, everybody? Adam from IAMTHETREND.com, and tonight we have Mario from Loud Silence. Thank you so much for hanging out and waiting for me. It's almost 1 in the morning your time, so I really appreciate it, man.
I know it's all good, Adam. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, man. So you've been in the game a while. For anyone that's not familiar with Loud Silence, why don't you just give us a little bit of history? Is it true? I heard somewhere that you came up with a name like almost a decade before you actually launched the brand.
I did. I was in high school back in 2001, and I was in a classroom with a teacher named Miss Higginbotham. And she was fed up with us and me being the class clown. She was really upset with me, and she just told everybody to quiet down. She said, if you want to talk, talk to amongst yourself, within yourself, basically. And I just came up with the name Loud Silence for some reason after that.
And
I
that
wrote
was
it down in my notebook.
And that was just like, it was just a cool name, or were you thinking like this is going to be
Yeah,
a brand?
I don't know why. I'm like, okay, she's telling me that if I want to talk, I just have to talk amongst within myself. And I'm like, okay, I'll just be loud in a silent way. And the name just hit me. I wrote it down in my notebook, and it just stuck with me ever since.
Crazy. So then fast forward it, like, I don't know, was it really like 9 years or so before you like had this idea to start a brand?
Yeah, it was. We were in Target one day, and I had just graduated Full Sail in Orlando for audio engineering, and I always loved doing music. And I realized that there wasn't a brand that incorporated music into its theming. So we were in Target one day, and I realized, this would be a great idea. Let me start a brand that's themed around music and marry the name Loud Silence that I had back in 2001 and bring it all together.
So you graduate Full Sail, you have the idea for this brand, you have the name. I guess how did you go about it? I heard you started on Kickstarter.
Yeah, we actually went to go see Johnny Cupcakes talk in DeLand, Florida, which is actually about an hour away from Orlando. And we had already had plans to go to Orlando that weekend, so it was just it was perfect timing. And I got to meet Johnny. I saw him in the parking lot, spoke to him for about 20 minutes. It was a great
Dude,
experience.
I mean, that sounds just about right. I mean, that guy is insane. He literally stops and talks to everyone for as long as you want to talk to him. Guys,
He's the king. I
he
could have
really
talked to
is.
him all day if you wanted me to.
Guy's incredible.
So when we went to go see him talk at his lecture, at the end of the lecture, he gave us some tips and he told us about Kickstarter.
Nice.
So that weekend in Orlando, the entire weekend, all I could think about was Kickstarter.
Got
I
it.
did research. I thought of ideas. So when we got back here to Jacksonville, Florida, which is only 2 hours from Orlando, I went on there and submitted our project.
Nice. How'd that go?
It didn't go so well at first. They actually turned us down 3 different times.
Wow. Why is
It
that?
was I don't. At first, they said it didn't meet their criteria, or it wasn't unique enough. We needed to figure out a better way to pitch our project, and we went back and tailored it more to their advice. And after being turned down the third time, after about 2.5 months, they finally picked us up.
Wow. That's crazy. I had no idea that you had to go through that many strikes to basically get through there. I always assumed like as long as you had your stuff together, it was like a one in like you're on kind of thing.
I think it's like that now. When we pitched it, this was about 4.5 years ago, so
A
they
little
were
different then.
fresh. Yeah, so I think they were a little more different back then. Now, I think they're just, accept anything, and they're gonna get a cut from it either way. So
I see a lot of brands trying to go the Kickstarter route. You've done it. It took you
yeah,
it took you a few times. Would you go the Kickstarter route again? And I guess what were I guess any valuable tips or takeaways from that process in general?
I would only for the promotion aspect of it. Even if we didn't reach our goal, I would still do it. It was a very tiring experience. I told people I would relate it to a political race because it was contacting so many people. I even contacted you at one time, asking if you could promote us on I Am the Trend and, promote the campaign. But
Sure.
we did learn a lot of things. contact as many people as possible, do cold emails, cold phone calls, and we actually got a lot of support from it. Our Kickstarter campaign was shared over 1,000 times on social
Wow.
media. We raised over $3,500. We got on Thrillist.com from it.
Nice. While you were trying to fund it, not after.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
And we got a lot of promotion and a lot of attention from it. So at that time, it was great. I would definitely do it again more for the promotion aspect.
From the community aspect, you guys got a lot out of it, but it's a lot of work. I think a lot of brands go into it thinking, well, there's a community there. I'm going to post this and it's going to get funded and I'm not going to have to do much to do so.
Right.
And that is definitely not the case, right?
No, it is not. I definitely worked a lot on that. I was emailing people, calling people, messaging people. I had my brothers actually help me on social media. They posted it on their walls, their friends' walls.
It was all hands on deck.
Uh, oh yeah, I annoyed people with the Kickstarter project. It is definitely not an easy task,
And what was your angle,
right?
I guess? So I imagine you had to do something to kind of stick out. What was your, I guess, your proposition to the people that were backing you?
Well, at that time, it was one of those things where we hadn't seen a brand theme around music, and we know a lot of music lovers at that time, and me being one, I wanted to extend my passion for music, and that's how we kind of pitched it. And we actually also donated to certain charities like Save the Music.
Nice.
And that was one of the ways that we kind of picked up. It wasn't, now that I think about it, I would have rather had not said that and done that on the back end
Why is
instead
that?
of promote it that way. I don't know. I feel like it's more genuine if you sell your product and on the back end you kind of support charities and support different organizations.
Interesting. So you felt it kind of felt like a sleazy marketing tool when it was really supposed to be
Right.
like something that felt really good.
Right. At that time, I didn't think about it like that. I think after a few months, I looked back and realized I should have just done it on the back end and not had told anybody. Just for it to feel a little bit better. It did feel like a sleazy marketing campaign at that time, but we were genuine with it though.
Yeah, absolutely. And people want to back a good cause, so that's always, it's a plus.
Right.
As long as you're doing what you're saying you're going to do, like that's all good. But I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
So, any other surprising takeaways from the Kickstarter experience?
Yeah. One thing I want to disclose is that when you end up meeting your goal on Kickstarter, they actually take a cut from it. They take a certain percentage. Of course, that's how they stay in business. But you get your disbursement on Amazon, so
Wow.
Amazon takes a certain cut as well.
Okay, so you're getting two cuts there. So the margins are
Exactly.
getting pretty thin. So
Right. So out of 35, we got $3,500 from Kickstarter, our Kickstarter goal, but in reality, it was around 2650.
wow. So that's a substantial chunk. So then you
Exactly.
got to pay for everything to get made, all these, the custom beats that you said and whatnot. So you're pretty much,
Yep.
how'd you end up?
We actually ended up with no money. We had to come out of pocket for some of these things. So we were back at square one, where before we started our project, we had no money to come out with our second collection.
Wow. So how did you overcome that?
We hustled, saved up, and finally came out with the second collection.
Wow, that's crazy. I never would have thought that. It just seems like the ball would get rolling, but I guess, there's some really good insight on some things to think about when you're launching your Kickstarter.
Yeah, after we fulfilled all those rewards, I think we had about 10 or 11 shirts left from each design. And, we didn't really make much money from that after marketing and promotion. So we definitely had to save up from our day jobs, from our paychecks, and hustle the rest of our inventory off, and finally make that second collection.
So the moral of the story is no matter which way you do it, there is no easy way. You got to work your butt
There
off
is
either
no
way,
easy
man.
way. Exactly.
Good advice. So that was back in 2011. What have you done to expand the brand since then?
A lot of it on social media. We've tried to do as much as we can. We've done a lot of events, local events here in Jacksonville, even in Florida. We've done breakdancing events in Orlando, sneaker events in Jacksonville and Orlando, and We've done really well
Nice.
in the events that we've done. We were in some local stores
And
over
and
the years.
and how have you gotten into those stores? I know a lot of brands, it's like the thing they want the most, whether they know why they want it, they just want to be in stores. So how did you do it?
I actually just walked in there and spoke to the owner.
Wait a sec, you just just cold call, cold walked in, I guess, cold intro. Here I am.
Ex exactly.
That's
I just
awesome, man. I
walked in.
love to hear that.
I was like, can I speak to the owner, please? And they were like, yeah, I'm the owner. I'm like, how can I help you? I'm like, hey, how's it going? My name is Mario. I run a brand called Loud Silence. I'm local here in Jacksonville. I was wondering if you guys would be able to carry us in your store.
And he was just like, "Sure, here you go," or how did that unfold?
They were actually like, okay, cool. Can you show me any of your designs? Do you have any shirts made? What's your theme about? Do you have a website? And surprisingly, I was really well. I speak to people well in person. Everyone tells me that I make friends everywhere I go.
Nice, man.
So they were very open
Receptive
to
to it.
me.
That's awesome. I mean, I love to hear it. I think a lot of times people get afraid to, just kind of walk in somewhere and put themselves on the line and put their brand out there. So it's really cool to see that you did that and it was successful for you. So bravo.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I still get nervous and scared to approach
But you do
business
it. But
owners,
you do it.
but
That's the
I do it.
difference.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
You know, you just have to kind of face that fear and just go ahead and do it.
absolutely. So any mistakes that you made over the years that you wish you could go back and tell yourself to avoid, or anything that you would recommend brands starting out to look for?
Yeah, one of the mistakes we made was we got into one of those stores and we were so hungry and just so ready to get the brand out there that we didn't listen to our gut. And the store owner was using our promotion and our marketing to promote another brand that he was basically almost half owner of.
Wow.
So, we didn't listen to our guts at the beginning and we just wanted to get in there. Towards the end, it got really bad. But, trust your instinct. That's one of the best things I could say. There's times where I wouldn't, only because I thought it was a good opportunity,
Sure.
and it turned out not to be.
Really interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of times, you kind of get excited about opportunities, just even in general in life, and then you kind of that voice is speaking, and you're just like,
Yeah.
like we'll get past it. But that's really
Yeah.
good.
And
It's really good advice. Your gut is
you
usually
ignore
right.
it. Yeah. No, it usually, I would say 95% of the time it's right.
So how do you guys go about sourcing your designs? Do you design everything that you guys do, or do you bring in artists?
I come up with the ideas and the sketches, and I have an artist out in San Francisco named Lane Lee who's done some of our designs. I've worked with an artist called, his name is Christian Hay from Canada. He's done a couple of our designs. An artist out in Australia. So I'm pretty much
Nice.
open to anybody who can do our style of design and who's willing to execute my ideas.
And how are you finding these guys?
A lot of them have been on mentees.com.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's how I found out about I Am the Trend, actually, was on empties.com, mentees.com as
Yeah,
well.
empties back in the day, man. We'll pour one out for that.
That that was a good time on that
That
site
was
when
that
it was
was a good
back
time,
at
man.
empties.
Those were the days.
So that's how I found out about all these guys actually.
Very cool. Yeah, great resource. Cool. So what's the plan for 2016 and the brand moving forward?
We've actually been talking to a hat manufacturer here in Jacksonville called Dome Hats, and they actually did the hats for Biggie down in Orlando for Deli Fresh Threads.
Nice. Love those guys.
They're doing hats for the Florida Gators, for the Georgia Bulldogs, a lot of the Southern college teams that they've actually got a stronghold on. So I figured, they're a local brand, a local manufacturer. It'd be good to go talk to them, feel some fabrics, some different samples, and we love to support locals. So that was a no-brainer.
That's rad, man. That sounds really exciting. Anything else that you want to push the brand toward?
Yeah, we want to do some more music events. I've contacted a couple of websites that cater to music producers and music makers, and that's kind of our target market. So I think we want to travel and do some more of that
Nice.
to promote the brand.
So do you already do a lot of that stuff? I mean, being a music brand, are you looking for those types of opportunities? Do you guys sponsor DJs or bands, things like that?
Yeah, we actually sponsor an artist here in Jacksonville. His name is Mr. Alpete, a very talented DJ slash MC, and we've done a show with him, which was extremely successful. And he does a lot of shows around town. He's known for being the DJ and the MC. He's actually going to DJ our wedding.
Oh, nice. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, we've done some things with him, and I think we want to start promoting and sponsoring some more artists, some more DJs, producers. Me being a producer slash beat maker, I like to cater to those guys.
That's awesome, man. So if people want to check you out, where should they go?
LoudSilenceClothing.com.
Nice. Any Twitter, Instagram, any of those jams?
Yeah, on Instagram we're at Loud Silence CLO. Same on Twitter. On Facebook, it's Loud Silence Clothing.
Nice, man. Well, I really appreciate it, Mario. A lot of good insight. I'm sure a lot of people got a good takeaways out of this. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Adam. I actually want to share with you that we get a lot of our traffic from I Am the Trend.
Still to this day, huh? Even after the long hiatus.
Still to this day, I'll look at our analytics and it's IATT.
Man, I love to hear that. That makes me feel good. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. We'll hopefully
Thanks,
this does the same for you. So we'll take care, and thanks everyone for tuning in. And make sure to check out Loud Silence.
All right, thanks, Adam.
All right, later.
This episode of I Am the Trend TV is brought to you by Threadbird Printing, high quality screen printing at affordable prices.